My nickname was Big Country growing up. True story. Now, I'm from the south side suburbs of Chicago. Grew up in Hazel Crest and Harvey. And I grew up a lot around my cousins a lot. My mama's side. My mama comes from San Antonio, Texas, and also Greenville, Mississippi. And her people made their way up to either Chicago, Pontiac, or Detroit, like most black folks did. And so I would grow up in my granddaddy's barbershop on the weekends. My auntie had a beauty shop in the back. And then my other auntie with her husband were preachers. So then I would go from the beauty shop and barbershop on Saturdays to putting on my stockings, my hat, and them goddamn gloves on Sunday. And then I was in Catholic school. So then went to Catholic church on Tuesdays for lessons. And that was what raised me, right? And then I went to college. First gen low income student from where I'm from, and I was a trio baby, Student Support Services McNair, right? I'm literally the product of the government funding education, so you're welcome. And it was there that I was told I was too country, right? My accent was too thick. I talked too fast, or I talked too slow. I talked too late. I wasn't sophisticated enough. But every time I was told I was too much, they still wanted me in that room. They still opened up that door just enough for me to come in. But then when I was in, there was a constant disciplining. You must speak a certain way. You must act a certain way. You must write a certain way in order to be seen. Yet I was never seen. I was always told that this 6'3" frame needed to conform more. But how do you fit a big ass body into a small ass hole? Right? And many of us have this story in one way, shape, or form. So this is why Cowboy Carter as an album along with Renaissance really spoke to my 43-year-old ass, right? It really did. Not because I stan Beyonce. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you're going to stand somebody, stand your motherfucking selves, y'all. I mean that shit. Stand your motherfucking selves. But do you know the self? Can you find the self? Can you sit in the self? Or are you performing individuality based upon the script society told you to do? Right? That's what to me was what I really took from listening to somebody get disrespected and then take her time and come back and say, baby, I'm going to show you what I can do. But then halfway through the Cowboy Carter, you can hear her saying, why am I trying to prove myself? The only person I got to prove myself to is myself. And then we went into Renaissance. And when I listened to Renaissance a few years ago when it came out, I was in the middle of a lot of breaking. I talk about this in season 1 of my podcast, right? I left a marriage of 15 years. I left a career that I had been in since I was 18, right? In higher ed. I had lost community, and I had come out to myself finally as a big ass gay girl, a woman, I should say, right? But I felt like a girl. I felt like I was starting over and starting new. So when I heard Church Girl, it was like somebody put into a fucking song what it felt like at that time to have everything breaking, but finally figuring out what faith was. Because it was faith in my goddamn self. Because I finally, for a long time, was finding her and seeing her and acknowledging her country ass, right? So in this moment, art does matter. Music matters. All these modalities matter. It's not just about the fight this way, y'all. The state understands that. The state wants that. The state feeds off of that bloodlust. But what it can't stand is real beauty, real creativity, real innovation, right? But we don't even know what innovation means. Innovation in these systems is replication. So when you actually see something innovating, breaking genres, breaking boundaries, right? How are you going to have a revolution if you want to stand inside the lines? You got to break shit. But the first thing you got to break is you, the ways in which you are attached to structures and systems. So disruption starts internally and is a way for you to then express it externally. So to me, this is why music matters right now. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't have to be a Beyonce. It can be whoever is getting you to not only see and face yourself, but realize who you are is not necessarily a problem. You just got to double down and realize that you got to express that self. All right? That's it.